when we broke up.
I know things are probably weird with you guys right now, but you don't have to hide that.
We're cool. It's fine. I'm fine.
I'm not even listening to me. You okay?
No. I was listening.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, just kidding. It did not loop. My bad. I forgot to put it on loop. So I guess here we are exposed. Hey y'all, for those that are tuning in live or on replay. My name is. Oh, sorry y'all. More of my notes. Okay, I'm here. Okay. So my name is Edrian Pangilinan, one third of the co-founder of the Philab Film Collective, a collective where we aim to amplify the voices of Filipino and AAPI voices into today's media. And this is behind the scene where we get to talk all things behind the scenes with your favorite creators out there. And just a heads up, I just grabbed a whole bunch of your copyright. So thanks for giving me like something to work with too. Okay. So for today's episode, I'm so grateful to have finally been able to gather the majority because this is not all of them of what seems to be the core group of good. How do I say it? I want to say it, but I don't want to. Gooshlems? Is it Gooshlems? Or
It is Gooshlems.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
yeah, Gooshlems. Okay. 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 Let me start over. Okay. For today's episode, I'm just grateful to have what seems to be the majority of the core group for Gooshlems, a Gen Z, actually, I should add, a Gen Z media collective based in Toronto that has a passion for creating and entertaining, all while having fun doing it. Co-founded by Ralph Ramos and Christopher Bradley Cruz in 2012, at just 12 years old. Dang, I was 20 years old in 2012.
Wow.
When I read that, I was like, I'm so glad I was that old to like see the time has changed. Anywho, I digress and we'll continue. Gooshlems was created to tell stories. The two founders initially set out to create YouTube videos inspired by the popular Asian American YouTubers at that time. Eventually, they made their first short film and fell in love with filmmaking. In high school, they met other passionate filmmakers and actors, such as, okay, if I butcher up your last name, I'm so sorry in advance, but I will just read it like a teleprompter. Ethan Zucken and Ryan Cherry and Marina Yap. Together, they have created multiple short films, YouTube videos, a stage play, oh shit, and a podcast. Their work has been featured at the Asian American International Film Festival, Vancouver Asian Film Festival, wow, and Real World Film Festival in Toronto. They expanded into the United States in 2020 with the launch of Gooshlems Gaming, managed by Daniel Garcia Vega and Elias Barba. The two, along with Chris and Marina, host gaming related videos and Twitch live streams. Their June 2021, this is pretty cool. Their June 2021 charity live stream raised over $1,000 for Rainbow Railroad, an organization that helps persecuted LGBTQ plus humans get to safety. And lastly, Gooshlems is comprised of a diverse group of members, a majority of which identifies as LGBTQ plus and or people of color. Love it. Together, through their work, they strive towards working with and supporting their 2S LGBTQIA plus and BIPOC creatives.
Woo.
Welcome. Woo! Wow. Okay, I think I'm done.
You read the whole about page.
Yeah.
I did.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much for doing my research. But yeah. Okay. So for this round, I obviously introductions, and we're gonna do it popcorn style. But I guess I'll start. So if you could introduce your name, your pronouns, role in your respective collectives, and a fun fact about you. So my name is Adrian Pangilinan, he, him. My role in the collective, as stated below over here, is I'm a co-founder slash overall creative producer because of like doing online programming and also like um we've done like film festivals as well. And a fun fact about me is my birthday is next month, March 23rd. So that makes me Pisces, Aries Pisces cusp. So I think that would make me someone that's like very fiery yet very emotional. So okay, I'm gonna popcorn it too because of who I'm seeing, Marina.
Hi, I was hoping I wasn't next. Hi, I'm Hi, I'm Marina. I am the brand director at Gooshlems. My pronouns are she, her. A fun fact about me, I was also gonna do a birthday one, which is why I was like not wanting to go next. But I actually share my birthday is in the same month as two other members of Gooshlems who are not present, which I think is really fun. So it's a big celebratory month.
What month is it?
October. It's October.
Okay, who's next? Oh, sorry. Who do you want to popcorn it to? My
Oh,
bad.
yeah, sorry. I'll throw Chris under the bus.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Hi. My name is Kristofer Bradley Cruz. You can call me Chris. My pronouns are they, he. I am the co-founder and creative director of Gooshlems. Fun fact about me. Oh my gosh, I wish I had more time to think about this. Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about birthdays, my birthday is the day after Ryan's, and me and Ryan found out that we have very like some odd coincidences where we have things that are almost the same about us. Like I'm not gonna say another thing, but like our birthdays are right next to each other. Ryan's middle name is also Kristofer. And there's a lot of there's other coincidences that I can't say because I don't want to I don't want to reveal too much information about our location, but yeah, I'm gonna popcorn it to Ryan because I just talked about him.
I was gonna say one time we found out that our parents were married on the exact same day, a year apart.
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
remember that?
I do
crazy.
remember that.
It's very weird. Anyway, I'm Ryan. I'm Chris's brother. My pronouns are he, him. I'm considered the director of programming. All that really means is whenever something comes out, Chris says, "When do you want it to come out?" And I go, Wednesday.
That's important. Someone has to make those decisions. Just saying.
I know. I say I look at analytics. I don't. I just think I think a Thursday feels right in my heart. Fun fact about myself. Oh, this is good. That was the first time I watched the trailer to Just Friends Again. This is true. I have not read the script. I have not done anything because I was busy when you were shooting it, and I made the decision that I wanted to be surprised. So the day it premieres is going to be a very exciting day for me.
I want to say, Ryan, that's not true. You helped me return equipment, so technically,
that's
you
true.
Did
My
work
name's in the credits. That's true. That's true. Okay, well, I knew that.
PA. No, I'm just kidding.
So really, my credit on that is that I knew that we used microphones and a camera at some point. So looking forward to it. I'm gonna popcorn it to Ethan. Next.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Yeah, lots of choose
Ethan, is
from,
that the
right?
Beatles behind you? You have
No,
the Beatles in
no.
this episode?
Stop, please. I didn't want to take you down. I was like, anyway. My name is Ethan. My pronouns are he, him. I am so bad at coming up with fun facts. I feel like this is like such a people ask me, I'm like, there's nothing that comes to mind. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is I've been involved on YouTube since I was, I think, like 8 or 9 years old. I made my first YouTube video when I was around 9, and since then I've kind of been contributing since then now, especially with Gooshlems as well as a creative producer. So it's just always been a thing that's been involved in my life. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ethan. The fun fact about you is that you had YouTube fame in 2009. Like
I wouldn't call it YouTube fame. It was one hit. It was, if anything, it's like a one-hit wonder, and then fizzling off after like a year or so.
Ethan, you say you don't
Yeah.
have fame, but we've told people in other countries that you made that video, and their response is, "Oh yeah, I've seen that."
No comment. I don't know. That freaks me out. That freaks me out.
I mean, I guess since we're talking on that note, what video are they referring to?
So when I was around, it must have been like I was around 9. I made a video. So Call of Duty, it's a very popular first-person shooter game. And at the time, Marina is laughing so much at this.
Sorry, because this video is just so stupid.
It is.
And I love it.
It
But
really is.
I love it. It's just so.
Listen, I was 9, okay? Like, I don't know why everyone was expecting Citizen Kane from me. But no, yeah, I was 9, and it was a first-person shooter game, and I decided I wanted to make a YouTube video where it was basically Call of Duty, but in real life. So I got my mom to record me. I think she's watching this live stream. Hi, Mom. She recorded me. I was like running around with prop guns and just, I was the only actor in it. I did all the parts, and then the video went on to get like 5 million views. So I don't know how that happened, but that was crazy to be in 5th grade. And I'm like, oh, how many views?
Are you still using that YouTube channel, or did it get deleted? What happened?
So my YouTube channel is still up. It's just my name, Ethan Zucan.
What? That's cool.
It used to be Ethan Zook. That was like my name up until I turned 18, and then I was like, no, I want to be fancy. I want to be professional. So that was my handle.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say too, before we go back to the interview, I guess like many people who started their YouTube channels, back when it came out, I think for me, I just used it as a hard drive, to because I didn't have all the storage to keep all my stuff. So, and then it ended up living on YouTube, and then copyright started to happen, and then that channel got deleted. So
Oh, no.
sadly, yeah. Okay, where is my next question? Okay, Stu, how was this? I mean, I know I talked about it earlier when I introduced y'all, but I want to hear from y'all personally. So, how was this collective born? And for those that joined later, how were y'all added into the mix? So, I think that's a Kristofer question first.
I guess it is. So yeah. Unfortunately, the other co-founder Ralph couldn't be here today. But me and him are childhood best friends. We've known each other since we were 4 years old. Oh, hi, Daniel. Oh my gosh, Daniel's in chat.
Daniel.
We have people. We have, let's see how many people we have. We have 6 million viewers watching us worldwide. Come on.
Yeah.
And everyone who watched
Yes,
that
hold on.
video came out for this.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually have a few people commenting, so I just want to also just kind of blast them out real quick. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Okay. Hey, Chris, come on.
Oh my god, it's me.
Well, Chris, how are you in the chat? That's crazy.
Okay, continue.
Ralph and I are childhood best friends. We've known each other since 2004. We were 4 years old. He was probably 3 years old when we met. And fun fact, mine and Ralph's personalities are so different. Where I feel like in any other case we might have not become friends immediately, but we live in a pretty largely white suburban town, and we sort of became friends because our parents saw each other at the bus stop and they're like, oh my god, another Filipino family, and sort of kind of forced us, not really forced us, but they became friends. So Ralph and I became friends, and obviously it's worked out because to this day he's still one of my best friends of now going on to 20 years. But we would watch a bunch of YouTube videos together, like Ryan Higa, Wong Fu Productions, Kevin Jumba and stuff like that. And we wanted to make YouTube videos. And so in 2012, I think we were at the park, we were sitting on the swings, and we wanted to make videos, and we came up with this idea of let's make this short film. So we got some friends. I think we were in 6th grade at the time. So we got some friends, gathered them up, and then that summer we shot a short film. Didn't end up coming out, but the experience of making that was so fun, and Ralph and I just started making videos from there. And yeah, I mean, that's sort of how Gooshlems sort of came to be. It was sort of just me and him for a couple years up until up until I want to say 2016. Gooshlems was just Ralph and I making videos, and I think the first time we ever started working with other people was in 2016, where we made a short film called Pandora, and I had gathered my high school, like we had recently put on a production of The Crucible, and I'd gathered a bunch of the cast, and I was like, guys, I want to make a short film with all you guys in it. And Ethan was part of that cast, and he was cast as one of the leads of our film Pandora, and that's sort of how me and him became close and connected more. And since then, Ethan started helping us out with like a bunch of short films because he is one of the most talented actors I know.
Get out.
And
I agree, Ethan.
I also
Get
agree.
out.
I think we all agree.
Yes.
No, I was agreeing with Ethan's disagreeing.
Oh, great. Get out of here.
And then I had known Ethan. I went to two different high schools for 9th and 10th grade. I switched high schools for 11th grade and 12th grade. But in 11th grade, when I switched high schools, I met Ryan. I had actually known of Ryan beforehand because in 10th grade, as I was planning to move schools, Ryan and I had some mutual friends, and he followed me on Instagram and reached out to me and was like, hey, like, I heard you're a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker too. Like, I'm excited to get to meet you later on this year. I'm like, yeah, me too. So when I moved schools, Ryan was one of the first people that I became friends with at the new school, and like we instantly connected, and obviously still friends to this day. And we started, because we were one of the few filmmakers in our grade at that time. Like, we started making, he started helping us out with a lot of films as well. And then Marina joined. Well, she was also into filmmaking, and she started I think she's a year younger than us, so she started helping us out, I think, when we were in 12th grade and she was in 11th, and we were she started helping us out on some films, some videos and stuff like that, mostly as an actor in them. But then I think later on, I think honestly, I'm trying to remember how exactly it came to be, how you joined.
Do you want me to speak on it?
Yeah, you can speak on it.
Okay, so it's like, so when I joined Gooshlems, it was back in high school. I started working with them, like, back when I was in 11th grade. Everyone else was 12th grade because it was a year younger. And I started, working as an actor. I was like an extra on a few things. And we started getting closer because we had like some mutual like friends and everything. And like, I started like hanging out with them more. And then we did the play, which was like the one that Ryan and Chris wrote. So I was a part of that play, and I started like working with them more on that part. And then actually the first time that I joined Gooshlems officially in 2020, during the pandemic, when we started doing our podcast, No One's Gonna Listen. I became a co-host. And so that's when I like started like officially working and like actually being like a core member of the group, outside of just being like on a few productions. So that's essentially what happened, and then everything just kind of like snowballed from there.
Yes, I have questions for you about branding later on.
Yeah, for sure.
Who do you wanna popcorn it to in terms of their involvement and how they joined?
Let's talk to Ryan.
Really quickly, I was gonna say, I remember, Marina, the exact meeting Chris and I had where we wanted to offer you membership. We had a meeting in 2020. At that point, you just started being on the podcast every time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because originally we just wanted to have rotating guests because everyone was at home, and then we had this point where we were talking like while playing video games or something that we should expand the brand to like different artists outside of predominantly me, Ralph, Chris, and you were one of the first people we brought up, and it was the best decision we've ever made.
Oh, Ryan.
It's like you've like exponentially grown us in incredible creative ways. But the way I joined Gooshlems was aside from sliding into Chris's DMs in the 10th grade, which as soon as you said that we were going to do this, Chris, I was like, oh, we're going to talk about the DM story at some point. Because that was like a classic meet cute. But I would just kind of help out here and there. I really wanted to get involved because no one in our school, we went to a very predominantly, everyone in our area goes to either business school or like law. Like that's basically our area. And then you have me, like who felt very alone at the school, who would go into the school library and write scripts. And finding Chris was a magical, beautiful moment. But I didn't officially join until From Now On, which was our ill-fated feature film. That I still think was one of the best creative experiences of my life because we had so much fun making that movie. And it really was like a crash course in film school. Really. It was like budget management, time management, cast and crew management, problem solving in many different ways and facets. In some ways we bit off more than we can chew, but I still think just the fact, even though it never came out, obviously, the fact that we accomplished that when the majority of us were 17 is really amazing. So from that point on, I took on a more active role in development and production. And then we ended up here.
I just want to point out, I remember after the week after we filmed From Now On, I texted Ryan privately. I was like, this is the password to the Gooshlems YouTube channel. Like, do you want in?
That was really exciting too. You said something like the only other person who has it is Ralph, and I don't think he even remembers it or something. That's probably true. So I remember for like a really long time before like Ethan and Marina and then eventually our American branch came in, a lot of like the online facing stuff was just the two of us doing like we would check the email and we would try to write it as professionally as possible. We used to have like, remember there used to be a guy in Iceland that would solicit us for like, he would call us and say like, do you want CGI assets for a science fiction film?
I remember that.
And we were like 17 and we're like, who's this guy? So for a really long time, we tried to be professional, but at the end of the day, we were kids in high school who had a math test the next morning. But like that was like, I think, yeah, like that era was really amazing, but then it got even better once we expanded and not only added more creatives, but also became far more professional in a lot of ways, which leads me to our first edition, which was Ethan in 2019, I believe it was.
2019, yeah.
Yeah, 2019.
October
Yeah,
2019.
Was it October? Man, you have the day.
Wow, he has the
I remember. Yeah, your first
October
official
what,
video
2019.
October 2019, your first official video with us was the No One's Gonna Listen episode on Joker.
Oh, I do remember that actually. Oh yeah, we talked about Joker. Wow, that was a time. Yeah, I mean, I know Chris mentioned it earlier, but the main kind of like thing that brought us Rip from now on, never forget.
RIP from now on.
Oh my gosh. Every time we talk about it, because I mean, like Ryan was saying, it was just like there were so many sweet memories that kind of came from it. And it all kind of started in high school theater because me and Chris in grade 9, we were both in the school play. That was how we originally met. It was like a fun Christmas play. We had a lovely time. And then, yeah, I guess it was after the Crucible, the very next year in 10th grade, that was when you made plans. You were like, hey, I'm writing this film. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, yes, because none of my friends really had any creative interest like that. Like no one was really, like Brian was saying, like writing scripts and doing film and whatnot. So this is the first time where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a friend of mine who has like similar interests in me. And like, we want to make similar projects and whatnot. So I remember getting the script and thinking, this is incredible. And I don't know how long the process was. Was it like 2 weeks, would you say, in the summer? Or
Pandora we shot the majority of it over a weekend, but then we had a bunch of reshoots later on. So that ended up being, I think it ended up adding up to about 2 weeks or maybe like a week and a half.
Yeah, I would say like it definitely was like at least like, I thought it was like 2 weeks, but it was like 2 weeks of just pure enjoyment. Like it was, because it felt like we were kind of like finally doing something that we were meant to be doing, or at least that's kind of how I felt. And it just felt so rewarding by the end of it. And I remember what was the craziest part was the premiere, which was I wrote it like about a year after, or maybe like half a year after, when it was finally edited and said and done. And Chris hosted a premiere, and he made these posters for it. And the amount of effort that Chris puts into these projects, I kind of saw it right then and there. And I was like, wow, this is a real thing. And this is very special. And I just felt very honored to be a part of it. And I mean, that feeling kind of carried on with every single project that we went on to create, especially with from now on as well. Those were the 2 weeks we filmed that as well, were just absolute highlights for high school. Yeah, it was a real shame to not see that come out, because I remember we just worked so hard on it. We were all so proud of it, and we were all. Funny story. We were talking, Ryan, you mentioned earlier where you were like, yeah, I didn't watch the Just Friends Again trailer because I want to be surprised. Don't do that.
This is my favorite Ethan story.
I made the exact same mistake. So we filmed all of From Now On. It was all ready and done. Chris had edited a lot of it, and we were doing photo shoots for the poster at his house. And he was saying, hey, everybody come down and watch what I have so far. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait till it comes out because I want to be surprised. 2 days later, all the footage was gone. So I never got to see, like, I got to see some of it. I saw the scenes that were recovered, but I missed about 70% of the film because I wanted to be surprised. So, Ryan, be careful.
I'm sorry, what movie was this?
This was From Now On.
Okay, there we go again. Come on.
I know, yeah. Every time it's brought up, we just gotta raise it from the grave.
It's funny. That reminds me, like, for me personally, like when I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I like anytime I get a chance to like see something like a work in progress, I will watch it. Like even if it's like like when it's premiering, like for me, I'm able to still see something as if I'm watching it for the first time, you know. Yeah, but also lesson learned for anyone watching this.
Back up your hard drive.
Back up your files, and also to come down the stairs and watch it when you get a chance.
Yeah, always good to watch a work in progress.
Nice. Okay. Sorry, that was awkward. I love it.
No.
Okay, so as I'm looking into my questions over here, I do have questions for y'all as individuals of what y'all are doing, at least from what y'all have from your website. So since, again, I'm looking at Marina's name over here, I'm going to start with them. So being the brand director of the collective, I'm curious where you get your voice, style, and inspiration from.
Yeah, for sure. I will admit a lot of this comes hand in hand with Chris. Chris is the one involved with like all of like our like the logo, like the colors. A lot of that was like kind of like their hand in it. So with branding, it's really something that we've been trying to cultivate for a long time, because we've been like growing so much as a collective, and we started in high school, so we weren't really sure what we were doing. And since I'm like kind of newer to the team, I've come up with like a bunch of ideas to help us like start getting the gears going again. I guess. Oh my gosh. So
Very
that started.
Canadian.
Yeah. So that kind of started with the incorporation of trying to submit to film festivals. In the past, we've just kind of been releasing on YouTube. So like trying to like move towards like film festivals and trying to move towards higher caliber slash like higher like production value productions. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Thank
yes.
you. So we've been kind of shifting towards trying to do higher budget productions. So that's kind of like the most recent change that's been happening since I joined the team. But in terms of just like marketing and branding, it's mainly been like a lot of like Chris's work in terms of that. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so my next question will go to, I guess I'm going backwards. Like you were supposed to be last, but okay, I'm just gonna go to Ethan. So what I have for you is um as someone that utilizes vulnerability into your art forms, I'm kind of curious to see like how are you able to continue to tap into that when maybe you know things are really rough and you're not able to, yeah, kind of shoulder on. So if you can kind of share.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like a constant problem you're always dealing with as an actor, where there are just some scenes that you kind of get to it on the day and you're like, I don't know if I can get into this. And I mean, honestly, just even tapping into it is a hard thing to do. I find being able to kind of get like genuine emotion in a scene, depending on like what the context is and what I'm kind of supposed to be conveying, just that is difficult alone. Really, I feel like the best thing is a healthy communication with everybody on set. I know, I mean, we brought this up so many times, but from now on, doing that one, there was a lot of heavy every time. R.I.P.
You know what? I feel like I might as well just leave that on there.
just tack it on. We're gonna be talking about it for so long. But there were a lot of emotional scenes in that because we were talking about some very serious subject matter, and it required a lot of work went into the acting about like our characters and our backgrounds and whatnot. So, but I remember like doing that film. It was great to kind of be working with Chris because he had such like a welcoming environment, always ready for us when we came on set. So even if we did have to go into these sort of vulnerable places, he was always there to kind of walk us through it and say, are you okay to go here? Are you okay to do this? Which I think is great on a film set. If you're on a stage anywhere, it's just having a director who kind of sees you and is able to talk to you and say, I know that this is a big ask. And are you okay to do that right now? If not, we can put it aside and maybe get to it later. So I mean, for me, that's a big help for me, is making sure that kind of line of communication is there. It just makes you much more comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you're able to convey those emotions much better. You're able to tap into the truth a lot easier. Because, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it is very personal. You are kind of speaking from a personal viewpoint. And you have to be ready to be there. And, comfortability is the most important thing. I hope that made sense. I feel like I just rambled, but that's what I would say.
It did. Thank you. Before we continue with the next question, I just want to blast real quick. Raymond, he was actually the previous guest on the show over here, and you're currently working on a short film from the East Coast, I believe New York / New Jersey area.
Kinda close to
Goodbye,
us.
the Filipino Goodbye. It's the Filipino Goodbye. And they just started their Seed and Spark, and I think it's starting to kick off. So, hey Raymond. Okay, so next question will go to Ryan, and that question is: out of all of the roles that you wear, director, writer, producer, and actor, according to the website, which one do you feel like speaks to you more, and yeah, out of all the roles that you've done, like which one feel like is the one that you would first do more than the others? Hopefully that made sense.
Well, programming director is the easiest because I don't have to do much for it. But writer and director has always sort of been my thing since I was young. But I think a lot of it is that's a difficult question to answer because it's an evolution, right? When I first met Chris, like that was like 2016, and we started getting more into our productions together in 2017. I was writer director. That's all I want to do. And then when From Now On came about, I had a large producer role. So I was the only other person besides Chris to be there every single day. What do you mean, Rip From Now On? Has something happened to it? Why are you? What happened? No. When we I was there when the hard drive died and we lost the footage.
Mhm.
Our schedule back then for Chris and I specifically was we'd go to bed at 4 a.m. and then we'd have the two of us would have a call time of 8 a.m. the next shoot day. So I went to every meeting with him. I went to everything that a producer does, I did on that movie, and it really opened my eyes to different aspects of filmmaking. I think it's one of the harder roles because it's a very interpersonal role. It's a lot of connection making and networking and problem solving. But then, as you sort of flip-flop between different roles and experiences, your viewpoints on them change. Nowadays, a direct producership role, especially after, Chris and I graduated film school, Marina is doing film right now, it became the professional world at the end of the day is not us making From Now On a random week in August of 2017. It's just not that. And as we've gone forward and gained more professional experience, if you look at our earliest work and look at the Just Friends Again trailer, which if you've never seen it, it's amazing. I've seen it 100 times. It's night and day. And I would never in a million years produce that. Not because I have an issue with the movie. It's because I don't think I'm capable of doing that. Right? So a lot of it is how I feel in the moment. Like right now, I haven't written or directed anything in years. Just because I was focusing on school and work and all these different things. So right now, I don't know what my passion is lying in. So I think I'm a big proponent of roles in film are not concrete. It's whatever speaks to you at that time. And any role in art, it's what art is. No matter who you are, where you are, art is what you're feeling in the moment or what you're feeling during a specific project or idea. So that's a very non-answer to your question. If you forced me to answer, I would say writer-director. But I think the magic of film as a medium and what we are doing currently is that it is fluid and we can do just whatever.
That is such an artist answer right there. I love it.
I love that answer. It's great.
I try my
I mean,
best.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised either. Okay, so the last one for Kristofer is so my question for you is what has been the best and the most fulfilling part about creating this collective?
I think my main goal, and this is I guess it like sort of relates, it's like semi-related to Ryan's answer where he said like it all depends on how you feel at the time. But I think everything that I do either as a writer or director or as a producer, it's honestly at the end of the day, but my main goal with Gooshlems is I want to uplift other people and I want to collaborate and uplift uplift my friends and collaborate with them and just overall have a fun time. I think the most important thing and the most rewarding thing about every single Gooshlems project that we've done is like we focus on like the I wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun. I wouldn't I wouldn't do this, like I'm not doing this because like I don't want to be like selfish. Like I would much rather just help out in any way and not have to like put my name up there and be I don't have to be like the director or writer or like lead of everything. I just want to sort of have like a space and like a place where I can sort of, yeah, I guess I and like I said, like just uplift the people, the other creatives that I love and I care about. And I think just like throughout the years, meeting all these people and getting to spend time with these people, it is just like the biggest joy of filmmaking and of any, like even outside of film. Like Gooshlems does stuff outside of filmmaking where we just make non-filmmaking like videos, but just being able to sort of like use our creativity, our get creative and just be able to work together and have a fun time is the most fun part about Gooshlems and everything. I think if this wasn't if I wasn't happy doing this, then we wouldn't be doing this.
I agree. So before, since I still have you, Chris, and leading up to the follow-up question for everyone, which is, out of all the almost 25 films that y'all have made, what is the most memorable to you? I actually just want to steal Chris again for a second and ask about Tonight You Will Shine, because like what I mentioned earlier, I was blockmates with Chris at the San Diego Filipino Film Festival back in October. And actually, like one of the things that stood out to me before the film started, or whenever your logo like appeared, was the logo, and I was like, huh, what's that? I'm kind of curious, like what was, and for anyone to that is on the live that also worked on the project, like what was the experience working on Tonight You Will Shine? Any behind the scenes, any, I don't know, anything that y'all want to say, like drama, or I don't know.
I have
Oh,
some
no.
drama with Tonight You Will Shine. Do we have drama?
I mean, I'll say some stuff. Too,
yeah,
for you.
yeah. So out of the group here, Marina was the only one that was on set for Tonight You Will Shine. But yeah, I'd say the biggest drama, which I don't think I actually talked about this at San Diego Filipino Film Festival. But our lead actress, so Tonight You Will Shine was my thesis film for my final year of university, and it's about a Filipino mother who sort of forces her way into her son's play rehearsal because she wants him to become famous, and she thinks that that's going to make him famous, him starring in this in his high school play. The first day of Tonight You Will Shine, which I think even with just friends, Tonight You Will Shine is probably the most expensive and the biggest Gooshlems project that we've done. Am
I able to ask, like, what was the projected budget, or what was your
the
working budget?
budget was 15,000 Canadian dollars, I think.
Oh,
So
wait, is that expensive Canadian dollars? I'm sorry.
that is
Or is that equivalent to a US dollar, or
it's not equivalent.
Yeah.
I think it would be slightly cheaper in US dollars, I think.
Oh no, that's so
But so it was the biggest, because I want to say before Tonight You Will Shine, I think the most we had ever spent on a Gooshlems project was for From Now On, RIP From Now On. Yeah. and it was about 2,000 Canadian dollars. Yeah, okay, so $15,000 is around 11,000 US dollars.
Is this? I'm sorry. Is that correct? Is the 15,000 Canadian dollars equivalent to 11,000
I
US
believe,
dollars?
yeah.
$11,109.38.
Oh, thank you. Dang, that's so expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, the most we had ever spent was For From Now On, which was a feature film that we made in 2017, and most of the budget went to just feeding the cast and crew, and we rented a camera and a lens, no other equipment, just that, and I think we spent around 2,000 Canadian dollars for that, to rent it for about a week from RIP From Now On. But every other Gooshlems project has been basically no budget at all. We love just doing things as well. I guess another reason why we're able to pump out so many projects at once is because we just do them. We just try to make the cheapest thing possible and make it work with no budget, which is honestly some of the best times I've had. Is it's just a person and camera and then a sound person
And
and
a dream.
yeah, and a dream. But so Tonight You Will Shine was the first time we ever had like a proper like crew and like we rented out a theater to shoot in, and it was a lot of pressure because it was my first time directing something that with that scale, right? And I wake up the first day of production at 5 a.m. and get a call from our lead actress who's supposed to be playing the mom. And we shot this in early 2022. So there were still a lot of COVID restrictions, including the theater that we shot at. Everyone had to be vaccinated. We found out the first day of production that our lead actress was not vaccinated and therefore could not be part of the production. She couldn't even enter the where we were shooting. So we had no idea what to do. I called my producer, Jackson Dolap, and basically I started driving. I think set was like about an hour away from my house, and I started driving it, and like I had to pick up some of the actors and the crew, and the entire time I'm just thinking, I'm driving to set right now. Everyone's gonna be there. We don't have anyone to play the lead character of this film right now. And luckily,
I'm sorry, we're talking about the auntie, the mom, or the guy?
The mom.
Oh, by the way, before you continue, I just wanted to say the final casting choice. I thought she was very effective. I was like, she's annoying.
I love her so much. Yeah. Luckily the way the schedule sort of worked out is the character for the mom wasn't supposed to start filming to the afternoon. So we had a couple of hours of buffer to sort of figure out, but we obviously had to start filming with the actors that were showing up. So here I am on set knowing we don't have a lead. I'm like if it hits like 2 p.m. and we don't have someone someone who's able to step in, like what are we gonna do? Because we literally don't have the main character of the film. So I'm starting to direct. This is my first big project, and I'm kind of overwhelmed by the amount of like equipment and everything. Like we had like walkie-talkies, like everyone was going up to me asking me questions, and in the back of my mind I'm just like, we don't have anyone. And like in between takes, like my producer would pull me aside, and like thank God for him, because he was obviously trying to find someone as soon as possible while I was directing and while we were on set. But in between takes he would pull me aside and go like, what about this person? Like basically we were just trying to find anyone. It had to be a Filipino mom. So it was like, I was like, well, both my producer and I are Filipino. I'm like, let's call up different family members, see if they can take 3 days off for this shoot. I even asked my mom that morning. I was like, would you be able to do it? And she's like, please no, but like if you can't find anyone, she was willing to do it. So shout out, mom. Um, but luckily we found someone who was able to just take 3 days off for the shoot. It was like the middle of the week when we shot it too. So it was my producer's mom's like family friends. So it's like yeah, and she wasn't really an actress, and she also didn't know how to speak Tagalog. So that was a yeah. Thank you, Tita Maria, for stepping in and saving our film. But the so that was also just another challenge on top of that. Was she came in and basically had to learn the lines on the same day, and sort of and I had to like, now I was working with someone who wasn't an actor, so that also tested a lot of my directing skills, was working with someone who wasn't experienced with acting. And also I also had to teach her. I mean, I personally don't I can't speak Tagalog myself fluently, but I can understand it and I know how to like pronounce the words. So I had to teach her the Tagalog lines too for the film. And it was truly like a test of my it was, for my first time directing a big project, it was definitely a lot of pressure and just a lot of stress, and everything that happened on that set was almost a huge mess, but I'm really happy of how it turned out, and I wouldn't have it any other way, and I've learned so much from it.
Congratulations. I mean, a lot of hair loss involved. I mean, just going back to that, like I did feel like when I was watching it, it did feel to me that the not so kind of maybe like the choppiness of the pronunciations actually, I think, gave it more of a layer. You know, like it added to the characterization of the mom. You know what I mean? Because then,
I
like
agree, yeah.
for me, like when I was watching it, I was like, oh, okay. And then like I started like kind of thinking in my mind, like maybe this person, like there has to be a reason why the mom doesn't know how to speak Tagalog well. And I think that's like one of those kind of like sub kind of yeah, just like layers that like sometimes don't need to, like we don't have the time nor the room to like say, but it's just there, you know.
Yeah. I do think it does add to it, yeah. But yeah, Marina.
Yeah, so while Chris was handling all of that, Chris brought me on as an AD, but I was specifically the play director for the film. I was actually in charge of all the other actors who weren't the main two characters. So that was literally everyone who was part of the play. So I was in charge of directing them, choreographing them, like everything. And so while Chris was doing that, I was making sure everyone was happy, because like we'd be sitting in the green room and I'm like, hey, is everyone good? Like, are we all doing all right? Like running rehearsals with Chris with them and like just making sure they were good. And I would check in on Chris like all the time because Chris was extremely stressed. Like as you can see, Chris was extremely stressed. So I would go to Chris and I'd be like, hey, are you good? Like, is everything fine? And Chris would just be like, yeah, I guess so. So that was really funny. Like not funny for Chris, but in hindsight, it was a little funny because I mean it ended up turning out really well. But it was good for maintaining and managing the rest of the set. I was also a pseudo intimacy coordinator for it, because as you know, there is a kiss scene in there, and we really wanted to make sure our actors were comfortable. So I was in charge of like helping out with that and everything.
Yes, intimacy coordinator. Come on.
I am not certified. I will say right now. Yeah, but thank you. I actually learned from an industry coordinating class I took with Ethan actually. So that's how I was able to figure that out. But in terms of drama, I mean, it wasn't really much drama other than trying to keep Chris calm, and like watching everyone like fight over like, we need to keep this shot. No, we don't have time. Just normal sad stuff. But the cast was really nice to work with, and even though there was a huge ensemble of them, it was really good working with them.
I was ready to say that could have been the thesis in itself, or Chris actually could have, or you as the AD Marina could have just like gotten a wig, and then Chris could have just worn it, and then Chris could have been the mom. I think that would have been effective. I feel like, my opinion. Just kidding. Um, yeah. Okay. So for the rest of y'all, I'm curious because I did see that you guys have like a lot of films, have made like a lot of films, and out of the almost 25 films that y'all have made, what is the most memorable to you? And we could start with Ethan.
And that is a tough question. Well, okay, we know the one that's on our mind, the one that one that's probably named. But and I would say that is probably the most memorable. But I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to rank them now. So if that's number one, I feel like number two would probably be Pandora, the very first one that I was a part of, just because that was like what introduced me to Chris and to everybody else on Gooshlems. And I don't know, at like 15, 16, when we were filming to actually film a project like that and finish it, like it felt so monumental at the time, which it was. And it really kind of gave me the confidence of being like, yeah, this is something obtainable. Being an artist is actually something we can do, and we can make really great stuff. We just have to we have to work for it, and it's fun to work for it. And then I also think Golden Child, and that's mainly just because it's like it was a chance for me for me and Chris to write the script, which was lovely. That was the first time that I'd ever helped writing a project, which was amazing to kind of see how that unfolded. But the main reason it was so memorable was because that was like on the cusp of the pandemic or near the end of the pandemic. We had been staying inside for so long. All of school was on Zoom. And so to finally, after what felt like ages, to kind of go outside and see everybody at Gooshlems again, distanced, of course, and wearing masks, but, in person nonetheless. And yeah, having been online for so long, to finally be able to do something creative after all that time, it was just incredible. So I feel like that's definitely at the top of my list for that reason alone.
Thank you. Who do you want to popcorn it to?
Oh, right. I forget. You know what? Hey, Ryan, I'm going to pass it right on to you.
Hey man, what's up? Thanks for that.
No worries.
That's a really hard question. I don't know. I've done like a lot of Gooshlems stuff over the past 7 years. Yeah, it's gonna be 8 years since the first Gooshlems adjacent thing I did was the Pandora premiere. I got the invite. I still have the invite text that says you are invited to the. Yeah, I can think of. Oh, jeez. I made 2 movies during the pandemic for school that were released by Gooshlems, and that was a really difficult filmmaking in a pandemic scenario is awful and terrible, but in a lot of ways it sort of forces you to be better and to rise above your constraints. But I think if like from now on is the obvious answer, you can put the text up. And that was always what's really fascinating is from now on, and our other lost movie, which was Monsters Within Us, was really interesting because they sort of dealt with similar themes, not exactly the same. They were very much Chris's view of, I guess, the world at the time, 17, 18. That sounds very like bleak, but I was heavily involved with both of those films, and obviously they both had production issues. One time, I dropped the hard drive and we lost it, and then
It was you.
it was me. And then the next time we started filming it, we started filming Monsters Within Us, and then COVID happened, and we had to stop, and we never started again. But both of those times really taught us stuff about low budget filmmaking, coordination, from now on, again, we were 17. When we started, I literally Googled what does a producer do when Chris said I was going to be the producer. And I kept that on my phone, and every so often I would go, okay, I got to go to meetings. Let's have a meeting. And similar thing happened with Monsters Within Us the next year, but it got more difficult because I was acting as well. I was one of the leads in that. So I constantly say that Gooshlems is the best film school because it really is. In film school, they try to teach you everything in a very professional way, which is a really good thing. But the disaster of independent filmmaking is really what makes you grow as an artist. So I think those two productions, from now on and Monsters Within Us, are probably the two most memorable, even though you can't watch them anywhere. That's where I had my character development, I think.
Free
You can
popcorn.
definitely-
Oh yeah, what's that thing? I'm gonna popcorn it to Ethan.
Who do you think
Yeah,
popcorn to
Marina.
you?
Marina.
Hi. So for me, I feel like my is the screen changing to me? I'm just wondering if I'm doing that because it's still on Ryan. Am I crazy?
Oh no, it's still on Ryan.
Because I feel awkward talking
It's
over Ryan's face.
Ryan, try and mouth the words that Marina's saying.
Yeah, can you? Like... No, Ryan, you should lip sync me.
I should just find a picture of Marina and just
You
like
should
hold my
just hold
phone
it up.
to it.
Hold it up to the camera. Okay.
Adrian,
No
are you
worries.
still here? Where are you?
Is Adrian here?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well,
Guys,
looks like we run the show now.
Oh wow.
We run behind the
Welcome
scenes.
to No One's Gonna Listen.
Guys,
is our
welcome
plan.
back to No One's Gonna Listen.
It's been a long time. Here, Marina, here's a photo of you I'm gonna put up.
Sure. Wait, I'm wearing that exact top right now. That's actually
Are you
really
really?
funny. Yes, I am. I'm just
I can't see to confirm.
Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about
Adrian
it
said,
anyways.
"I think I'm frozen." Nice.
No.
Oh
No.
Well, you know what? For the people who are interested in watching our podcast from the beginning on youtube.com/Gooshlems, there was a good period of time where Chris's camera would freeze in the early episodes, so there would just be a still image of Chris with the words "Chris's camera froze." Sorry.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's quite this thing. I also want to say to the stream, you might not be able to see from now on, but you can see the from now on trailer.
Yes.
Over and over and over again.
The trailer
You
on
can
its own,
see-
honestly, is incredible.
I was gonna say you can see several videos of Chris and I explaining why you can't see from now
Yeah.
on.
And then in those videos, you can see a little bit of footage of
The
that
surviving
survived.
Mhm.
I have the surviving footage. I love how this is just on Ryan.
Yeah,
No, everyone's watching me.
it's the Ryan cam.
This
It's
is
the
a
Ryan
true
show.
podcast. Yeah.
Rye talk.
Daniel. Oh, it's Rye Talk. Daniel in chat said from now on with a heartbreak.
Oh,
I love how much we've been talking about from now on.
it's impossible not to.
And it's
It is
so funny
impossible
for
not
me because I was literally only in one tiny scene of this project. I was not involved with anything else because it was before I joined.
It was, but you were still you're in the your scene is one of the surviving scenes, Mari, which is so funny.
Iconic.
It just shows your power.
Yeah.
And you know what, too, Marina, you're like one of the most memorable characters in that movie. And you have like 3 lines.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have 3 lines right.
It's just what's her line, Chris? Isn't it? I have to check with my parents, but I think I can come.
Yeah,
And then
that's literally.
I
See, look
don't
at
show up.
It's the most memorable.
And then she doesn't show up to the
Goosebumps.
party, which is so funny.
So my
She's
parents
like, "Oh,
said
that's
no.
The
That's a
funniest
great.
thing about that scene is all those characters don't show up to the party.
My favorite story about that was I was tasked with messaging everyone in that scene who was in the marina scene saying, "Hey, can you come?" And everyone said no, I can't come. But one person read the message and didn't respond. And then after
drop
the
them
day
right now.
after we filmed it, I got a text message from that person saying, "Hey, sorry, just saw this now. Sorry, I couldn't make it." And I'm going, "No, you didn't. You saw it said red. You're a
Oh,
liar." And
wow.
that person's name
Was Ethan Zukin. I'm just kidding.
I didn't show up to the major scene. The one big scene.
So I guess since I'm the host now,
yeah.
Chris, how come when you write, your process of writing features is like genuinely inspiring, but from a technical and creative standpoint, why do you always write one take party scenes?
Because it's
Ryan.
fun, Ryan. Okay, genuinely though, the reason why I love writing one take party scenes is one, they're doable in terms of like location because it's just a house. And two, because I love the idea of like a big ensemble like one take scene. Because that's just the theater in me. Because in theater you don't get multiple takes. Everything kind of goes and happens at once. And I sort of like love emulating that in like a one take scene. So even though you can fake it, I love the idea of just like being able to just like rehearse a scene over and over again and then get it all done and then like and like, okay, that is the scene. Like that's how we are presenting it. Because no matter what, like that's what the audience views. That's what the audience views on the stage. So that's how you do it. I love doing that.
I've always liked how, whether on purpose or accidentally, byproduct, whatever, all the party scenes you write and the way they're shot feel very hectic and fly on the wall. And I think that's kind of magical because I don't know, I didn't go to a ton of parties when I was in high school. And the ones I did go to, I felt like I was just sort of floating between groups. And the sort of Chris and I have always been fascinated by the concept of Sonder, that you have your own life, but everyone aside from you has their own existence. And I think the way we've always shot the party scenes are very indicative of that. We go from group to group, person to person. They all have their own little side story going on. They pronounce someone's name wrong. Someone's having a romantic encounter outside the house. Someone's locked in the bathroom, or someone's getting beaten up. All these things sort of feel organic because they feel like something that could be happening. Anyway, I'm gonna popcorn to Edrian.
Frozen who? Come on. No, but seriously, great job, yo. I was like, the moment I froze, I was like, y'all finally like relax. I was like, bravo. I was like, good job. Okay. I have. It seemed like everyone went already.
Oh,
wait,
no.
Wait, Marina, no.
Yeah, hi.
not you properly. There you go.
So for me, my favorite, my most memorable moments would be definitely when I did my directorial debut with Gooshlems, which was My Pumpkin, My Boo. That was a really, really cool experience for me. Ripped from now on. I'm gonna get you. So with My Pumpkin, My Boo, it was a really special experience for me. Chris and I co-wrote it, and it was the first time I'd ever directed anything on my own. And I'm really, really proud of it because it was so bare bones. We only had a script. We didn't even have like a shot list or anything. I literally just had a camera, a script, and a dream. And like, it was just two. Oh, thanks, Ryan. It was just 2 days of shooting, really simple. It was during the pandemic, so we had to like distance and everything, and it was literally just me as the crew. Like, I was the only person shooting with the camera. There was a mic on the camera. I had the script in my hand, and I was just the actors were blind. Chris was one of the actors. The actors were blind, so I had to like act out their movements for them. which is a really cool experience. And that is also the film that got into not only Real World, but an the AAIFF, Asian American International Film Festival in New York, which was a really amazing experience for me.
Yes.
Along with Please Laugh, which also I was going to reference as another memorable experience because that was shot in my backyard and that was really, really fun. But yeah, it was just such a special moment for me for all of that to happen. And I really wanted to like thank everyone in the group for supporting me through that, and like especially Chris, like through that I couldn't have done it without them. And with Please Laugh, that was a really fun experience. Like every single thing we shot during those few years was super fun and really, really great. Just being able to be with everyone on set and like having everything happen, like acting with them and like doing all this cool stuff, doing Noggle. Like I know it's like a cop out to say like everything we did was great, but like that's kind of like those moments were really, really great for me. And I'm really grateful to be a part of Gooshlems. So
Oh, thank you. Oh, did we lose? Oh,
You know.
someone,
Awesome. Now we can talk about
someone
it.
just got eliminated.
Oh no.
where did Ethan go?
It's not me, but you know, though I do dig this aesthetic though. Just saying the 4x4, but
Oh,
it's
there-
okay.
I don't know what
You're
happened.
back.
I don't know what happened. I just left for some reason.
Yeah, I was like, we're like, whoa, you disappeared this time. It wasn't me. Um, okay, so I guess we made it to the end of this show, and I just wanted to say thank you so much to our current 7 million viewers, and at its peak 11 million viewers earlier. Y'all brought in the ratings, so thank you. No, yeah, seriously, like I felt like I could have talked longer, and then at some point I was like, I felt like I was having a outer body experience because I felt like I was just like witnessing being with y'all and kind of the vibe and the energy that y'all have as a community. And my final question for all of y'all is I guess it's a two-parter. Um, the first one is like, where do you see the collective going? And also to, I guess, and final plugs for yourselves as well. So I guess we'll combine the two. So where do you see the collective going, and anything you want to plug in general, individual projects, socials, and etc. And we can start with Ethan.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, where do I see it going? I mean, honestly, the direction it's on right now is very exciting. I feel like because kind of COVID has ended, and now that we've all, for the most part, graduated school, we have a lot more time to kind of dedicate ourselves to projects. So I think we're all starting to sort of get into different facets of film, whether that be writing or producing or directing. We're all kind of trying to experiment and do our own thing. So it's really exciting to kind of see all of us sort of mixing and trying different things, and yeah, like taking risks with our artistic projects. So I'm interested to see. I'm really just interested to see more of us working together. I really like what we've been doing so far, and us kind of having scripts and dreams, like Marina said, and doing what we can to bring them to life. So I'm really excited to see what comes from that. I'm really hoping that we see another feature coming our way, one that is going to survive and will not get burned off of a hard drive from now on. One last one for good luck. So I'd say it's just bigger and better projects. I guess I'm very very much looking forward to that because I know it's on the horizon.
Nice. Okay. Ryan, go ahead.
I don't know. Hopefully, we get bought by a big company.
Oh my
Oh no.
No,
I
I think
hear
we should
mixed feeling.
I think we should rebrand as like a sports channel. Where we can cover like little league games and stuff. No,
This is why you're not the brand director.
This is why I'm not the brand director. I know.
Yeah, don't you dare.
I know. We can't program this movie on Sunday, guys. I got a baseball game. No, I think the magic of Gooshlems is that we do whatever we want. And it's all about showing our own artistic and creative sensibilities. So even if we suddenly explode, the algorithm picks us up, whatever our shorts go to the biggest festival. All I want is that we stay true to what the brand is, and we stay true to ourselves, which at the end of the day is that we have fun and we enjoy it. So I think no matter how big we get or how small we may remain, all I hope is that we have fun doing it. That or one of us wins the lottery and we can buy some really good equipment. That's it.
That sounds like I was ready to say the American dream, the Canadian dream right there. Marina, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Ryan really put it well in terms of what we look forward to in the future. I hope we can expand more. We can get into more festivals. We can continue to make really good high quality work. But ultimately, like Ryan put it, it's all about having fun and being authentic, being true to ourselves, keeping the fun alive with everything. Like we're such good friends, like all of us, and like we have such a great time on set. And it's really great how we support each other through everything. Like if we say we want to do something, everyone's already on it, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Like it's just really great to be a part of something that feels like a community. And I mean, it really is a collective. So in the future, I really see us like trying to do better and do more and like try to like improve as much as we can. But even if we don't, like Ryan said, like we keep having fun, and our brand is just having like being good for ourselves and other people, like just being true to ourselves, uplifting BIPOC and queer voices, making stories surrounding that, making like woman-led stories, anything like that. And in terms of like plugging stuff, I haven't been, other than My Pumpkin, My Boo, I haven't been as involved other than like co-directing with Chris on a few projects, which have been really fun. But I actually have a TV pilot that I'm writing right now that Chris is actually going to be helping produce.
Yes.
And I haven't spoken much about it. I've been kind of tight-lipped. So, but I'm hoping to go into production later this year. And it'll be with Gooshlems, obviously. So yeah, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Really intimidating. It's going to be like my version of Tonight You Will Shine. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Why did we just have a TFFC exclusive just happen over here? Come
We
on.
did actually.
Yes, come on.
That
Okay,
is an
Chris,
exclusive.
take it away.
Yeah, I mean, everyone said basically exactly what I was thinking. I just like for the future, I like again as we started to dabble into like bigger and like higher quality productions, I still like to stick to like our roots and yeah, even with our bigger productions, like just the main goal of uplifting our friends and staying true to ourselves and staying authentic and making sure we have fun. And at the same time, I also hope with these as we continue expanding and getting these bigger productions, hopefully or like making these bigger productions, hopefully uplifting more BIPOC voices and just other underrepresented communities, queer community and everything. I think that's like that's another one of like my main goals as a creative and as a filmmaker. But also at the same time, even no matter how big we make or how expensive we make our productions, I always will still love just the five of us getting together with a camera and a dream, and sometimes we'll have a script and sometimes we won't, and just shooting something and like having $0 to our name and just making something creative and something fun. And I don't think like even as we continue to like, I guess like have a higher production value, I still like doing those much smaller scale, a lot more independent. I mean, everything we do is independent, but like the very like small stuff, just having fun with that too, and just like hang out with our friends. I mean, I gotta also just give big props to Ralph, who's the co-founder of Gooshlems, who couldn't make it here today, but even like he we're all creatives here, and Ralph of course is also creative, but like I want to point out that Ralph, unlike all of us who sort of went into a creative field for post-secondary. Ralph is not in like film school or like or anything or like acting. He's not in film. He's in pharmacy school right now, and he is the he's like the perfect Filipino son. um, but the fact that he's able to sort of balance that and still pursue that like going into like health sciences while also still helping us out and still being very involved and creative with us and a huge part of like this community. I really like appreciate, and like that's again like he is one of my best friends, and I'll always like appreciate that about him, because that's not even what he's pursuing, and he's still helping us out. But yeah, in terms of plugs, we have a lot of stuff with Gooshlems in the works. One of them, like Marina said, being her TV pilot that I'm producing later on this year. Right now we just started I guess sort of promoting. I mean, we've been promoting it for the past couple years, but my next big project after Tonight You Will Shine, which was actually filmed in the same year of Tonight You Will Shine, what is called Just Friends Again. It's a very long short film. It might be about 40 minutes. The first cut right now is about 40 minutes long. That is about a couple who were childhood best friends that have now broken up, and it is their first time seeing each other and seeing each other at their mutual friend's Christmas party. And I co-directed it, and I co-wrote it, and I co-star in it with one of my very good friends, Marley Abdul. And we had such a fun time making it, and the entire thing is in split screen. So it was very fun to sort of like push that, like, I guess, creative, like push filmmaking or try to express filmmaking in a different way. And show this story in a different way, where I mean, I just want to explore the way we present things in like kind of like experiment with the style of filmmaking, and having this be entirely in split screen is super cool. You can follow the Instagram for the short film, which is Just Friends Again Film. And at the beginning of the stream, Edrian played the trailer, which we shot it back
before the end of the
we shot it back in December of 2022, and we just finished the first cut like a couple days ago. So it's been a long time. Speaking a long time, that was supposed to be the layout. Oh, like with this, I see. It's been a long time coming, and I've had that idea actually for the film since 2017. So since the From Now On era. So to go from when we were making From Now On to sort of this almost being done and this being one of our biggest projects has been like kind of surreal and like kind of amazing how like an idea that I had in high school as I was a teenager is now finally coming into fruition as I'm like approaching, or I guess I'm in my mid-20s now, which is wild. I feel so.
You better all live in your 20s. Come on, just saying. And then 30s will be the best decade. Just saying.
All right, I believe you. But yeah, that is that's sort of all. I mean, like, yeah, keep an eye out with the Gooshlems YouTube channel. We have stuff like being edited currently, and like we are writing so much. We have so many projects in the works. I'm balancing so many. I could talk so much about how many things we're working on. We're always working on something, even if we're not consistent with our with our releases, there's always at least like 5 different things in the background like being worked on. We just released A Helping Hand, which is a very short thing that we shot in October, actually right after I attended San Diego Filipino Film Festival. My friends, shout out to Daniel and Elias, who are also part of Gooshlems, who live in California. We drove back to their place, and we shot that short film in Daniel. We shot that short film in a couple hours based off of a very funny script that Elias wrote. But yeah, that's that one just came out recently as well.
Okay, so since we are at 1:30, or I guess on my end, we are at 1:31 over here. I know that Ethan had to go, but I just wanted to say for everyone watching and also watching on replay, thank you again for coming to another episode of Behind the Scenes, where we talk all things behind the scenes with your favorite creatives. And for today, we've had the honor of talking with some of the people behind Gooshlems. And before we go, I just want to play this video if I can find it. The trailer to Just Friends again, and my friends over here, just stay tight, and we'll see you on the next show.
What did he tell you about?
Oh,
What did he tell you about when we broke up?
I know things are probably weird with you guys right now, but you don't have to hide that.
We're cool. It's fine. I'm fine.
You're not even listening to me. You okay?
No. I was listening.